For today's ride, I'm on the Hamilton to Brantford Rail Trail. It's been a good 2 or 3 years since I've been on this trail, and I have to say, it is wonderful to be back. Such an interesting trail. I'm not sure if you can even see that, but it said on my Garmin that we're climbing at 2% grades, and we've been doing that 1 or 2%, touching 3% at one time for about over 9, almost 10 kilometers now. And that is something really quite unusual for rail trails, because locomotives do not like climbing hills, and so most rail trails that you ride on or walk on are very, very flat. If you know Hamilton at all, which I'm sure many of you do, it's one of the hillier areas in southern Ontario, so totally avoiding any inclines would have been quite a miracle. I don't mind, because it's great exercise, and I'm coming back this way, so I'm going to be going downhill, which also is extremely unusual on a rail trail. I really like the road crossings on this trail. They kind of have that oldie worldy railroad aesthetic about them. Here, I'll show you. See what I mean? It's a good effort. Like the carriages could do with a coat of paint. So we're actually quite away from any built up areas, and this area here is where Summit Station was. There is nothing of it left. Obviously this is not a part of the station. Down there somewhere is the foundation of a water tower that supplied the locomotives, but I think that's probably something you could only see in the winter. I can't see it, and I tried to look for it last time I was here as well, and I couldn't see it. Question of the day coming up. So today is a lot cooler than it has been. In fact, I just checked my phone. I'll just check it again in case I'm not seeing things correctly, but it says it's 18 degrees, which is absolutely beautiful for riding, for in my opinion anyway. I've been fitting my longer rides in between heat waves we've been having. So today is really, really pleasant. But if you can see on the horizon there, it kind of looks like it's a little cloudy, a little misty, and that is actually the result of wildfires which are way up in the prairies, over 2,000 kilometers away. And there is actually a clean air advisory, and they're advising people not to go out and exercise. So I didn't realize this until I drove here, and it was about an hour. Didn't realize this until I was about halfway into my journey. Now, my question of the day is, would you have turned around and gone home and maybe exercised at the gym, or just skipped riding your bike for the day? Or would you have come with me and carried on to to the trail and gone for this nice long trail ride. So yeah, there is a air advisory. It is, I should say, they're saying that it should be clearing up by this afternoon and getting sunnier. But yeah, would you have come and ridden, or would you have not risked it? When I was a child, my two sisters and I had guinea pigs, gerbils, hamsters, and we used to have to clean out the cages when they got dirty and smelly. Why am I mentioning this now? Well, the smell from the wildfires is not necessarily dissimilar to the smell of those rodent cages. Just my observation, but it does kind of suggest that we shouldn't be breathing too much of this in. I think we'll go a little further on though. This is a bit of an inauspicious location, so yeah, I'll just head a bit further up and find a much better point to turn around. I've been on so many rail trails that I'm kind of struggling to remember this Brantford end of this one, but I'm pretty sure, now I'm sort of in residential area, but I'm pretty sure that just a kilometre, maybe even less up here, there's a park. And if that's the case, that's where I'll stop and turn around. So this is a great place to turn my ride around and head back to Hamilton. This is Mohawk Park, and if you were wanting to start your ride along the trail from the Hamilton end, I would suggest Mohawk Park being a great spot to start. There's plenty of parking, and look, I have a view, although a little bit of an obstructed one, of Mohawk Lake. So I have about 12 kilometers to go, and I wanted to stop just for a moment to talk about this trail. And it really is, it's been a wonderful ride, and it really is a very, very good trail. It's really interesting actually, because you spend, if you're coming from the Hamilton end, you spend the first 12 kilometres climbing up the gradient, and then you come out onto the plateau, and then at the Brantford end it's all ups and downs and twists and turns where the path has eroded and been rerouted, and then you go under a couple of interesting bridges and through tunnels and all the way up to Mohawk Park there. It's about 32.5 kilometres, I think I said, at the halfway point. So it's a decent length. But one of the major things about this trail that is good is also a bit of a detractor, because almost the entire length, I would say all but maybe 3 kilometres, you're in the shade. Now, if it was the kind of day that we've been having recently, where the temperatures are in the 30s, I would be really, really grateful of that. But one of the things I like most about rail trails is the views, the vistas, views of farmland and hills and valleys and lakes and rivers. And on this trail, because you're in the trees, in that shade, for most of the trail, you don't really get those views. So I would leave it to you to decide whether that would make it. I mean, I think personally it's really, really worth coming and visiting this trail. Is it worth defying clean air advisories? Possibly not. I'll leave that for you to decide. For me personally, if I were to design the perfect rail trail, it would definitely have quite a few more views than this trail has. But other than that, it's been a great ride, and yeah, I'll come back to this trail again. I've been here before. I'll come back again for sure. Let me show you something. That's my shadow. First time that the sun has actually come out enough to give me a shadow. And I've almost finished the ride, but just even a little bit of sun's been nice. I'm in the suburbs of Hamilton, which means I'm almost back to the start point. In fact, I'm passing the 1 kilometre marker, so it's going to be about 65 kilometres. It's a decent ride, nothing crazy, but I certainly will know that I've been out for a bike ride. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, please remember, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next ride. I think I agree with you, Tom. I really do.